I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
I figured, because, you remember this, we had a proposed segment that we probably did one time, many episodes and moons ago that I was going to bring back as we probably land the plane here. But you was like...
Damn.
Yeah. But, you remember, you was like, let's go through the art of accountability, read a chapter, and I'll give you a break.
You never did it, though.
I did it once. We did it once.
You read a chapter?
No, you said read the table of contents.
Oh, contents. Yeah, I'm saying you didn't read the fucking chapter.
Yeah, no.
I don't have an audio so I know you didn't read it.
Exactly.
What you talking about?
No shame in my game. So you ready? You throw your chapter title and give the audience a breakdown.
Absolutely, let's ball.
All right, that's cool. So let's go with chapter 16. Remember this?
Fuck you. Volume
17.
Oh, all right.
But chapter 16 is God is
not fuck you.
God is my seatbelt.
As God is my accountability partner.
Okay. Talk to me. What
It goes back to the conviction. So when I talk about in the chapter 17, God is my seatbelt, it's if you allow God to really govern your life and be your accountability partner and understand that God knows all, you won't do things to spite people. You won't do things to deceive people because we are all God's people. You understand that God knows what you're doing. Another part about it is just from a standpoint of, I just had it because I'm really thinking about the contents in the chapter. God is my seatbelt. God is my accountability partner. I talked a lot about the conviction and God having, because that's really what it really all boils down to. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Cool. And about fearing God. So as a man, right, it's really not nothing you could do to stop me from doing what I want. Not nothing Ricky could do to stop me from doing what I want. There's no man on earth that can stop a man from doing what he want to do. And, because a lot of times we talk about forcing versus enforcing. Women want to force accountability instead of enforcing accountability. When they see a man enforce accountability on their friends, they don't think it's accountability because they don't understand that we would just cut a nigga the fuck off. I'm not hanging with him. He just got bad integrity. He just got poor character. He just not a good man. They think we're supposed to beat him up or something. It's like, no, I just not fucking with him no more. He's just not my type of person. And when you think about having God as your accountability partner, it allows for you to take a step back and say, you know what? I really don't fear no man, right? But if me understand that God sees all, God knows all, and God will enforce accountability, right? It allows for me to have a fear of what could happen if I am not, in alignment or, obedient to whatever it is that's moral or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So for me, having God as an accountability partner is like, I don't have a person that can see everything I'm doing 24/7, but I do have God that can see everything I'm doing 24/7, which allows for me to be able to, when I'm making a decision that you might not know about, damn, I could get over on Q for this $50, you don't know. But God know. So it allows for me to not do a lot of things that my human flesh and desires might want to do. Like a lot of things that could be lustful and, things that all of them different types of self-aggrandizing. Like none of my shit is self-aggrandizing because I understand who it's all for and where it all comes from. And I understand that having him as my accountability partner is an honor. Cause it's like, damn, you love me enough to make sure I'm doing right. And I think if people understood that, people get utilized in the same sense where it's like, I'd be grateful when I have people that hold me accountable, but it's like, even if nobody is there, God knows. And that's pretty much the chapter. But I talked about cheating on my girl and what it did to my life. Like I literally went through a series of and I knew the stuff that was happening. I'm like, yo, cause she had no clue. So it wasn't like she could have put the word in, yo, big homie, he out here with the word. He out here doing some shit behind my back. No, it wasn't that. It was one of the things where it was like my whole life was unraveling. And from that point on, I haven't cheated. And I got out the streets. I made is it a covenant when you make an agreement? I made a covenant with God. I was like, look, you get me out of this situation, you ain't got to worry about me no more. I won't do it. I haven't did it. So I even had this one time where I tried to double back. Well, I won't get too, you know what I mean? But it wasn't that deep. It was something real simple, something real legal, but still just was not in alignment. And that same day, all the footage from the episodes I did at the couch got lost. I said, God, you move fast. You move fast. That boy good. My conviction is so strong, it don't even allow me to do certain shit, bro. I wouldn't even say certain things. And it's not fun all the time because sometimes you want to do lustful shit. I want to do irresponsible shit. I want to do things that's like, but it's like knowing that and having that moral compass to redirect me and keep me in alignment. So that chapter is really important.
So back to what I said beginning of the full circle with the episode, Ricky thing, this and that. That chapter stood out to me, God and seatbelt. It's a lot of faith-based things circling, which is interesting to me to me to observe.
That's how I know I have a relationship. See, that's what I'm saying. People don't have a relationship. I'm like, people can't even identify God's presence in their life. Like they'll say, like it's like it's like, do you really have a relationship? Like, can you really identify? Do you know? Like, and it's like, how do you know, right? Because if you're not really tapping in, then you really don't know when you're being spoken to or not, because it's so much chaos happening around you that you can't even decipher what's happening. You just kind of like going off what's happening in proximity, and it's like, nah, like once you kind of tap in, it gets very clear.
And to your point about, I'll chime in before we land, like to your point about being out of alignment, you know, if you remember the situation we had with that one business situation and how it fell out, whatever, and I was going to do something.
I remember, and I stopped you.
Right.
And I thought this nigga was petty. I said, he got me so triggered. We changed protocol in the fucking network. As soon as we about to get rid of somebody, before we tell them what's going on, I remember what Q was about to do. Make sure we,
and when, you know, because first, that's how, you know, it was funny how reason I brought up, I was having a conversation with my dad recently, and he's in my situation. He was about to crash out by something.
You don't gotta talk to me in third person. I'm right here.
Huh? No, fair, got me. So he was talking about situation. He was about to crash out because he's about to sell his house, and a nigga ran off with some bread. It was a whole thing where he got lawyers involved now, and he really had to calm himself down. Yo, I'm about to go to jail. Like, it's about to be over type shit. And he was like, yo, end of the day, that wasn't our last. It ain't breaking it. It ain't stopping it. I done made it back by now. It's cool. The process to handle itself, and that's fine with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I respect that, because in the day, I was grateful that it truly wasn't my last. I know P with me in situations where you thought this move was going to be that, and I'm putting it all on black.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out type shit, whatever. So I'm like, and I told him the story about that. I told Matt's story. And I was like, yeah, Dad, you know, the first deflating moment where I was kind of like, no, it is what it is. I analyze everything, I assess everything, I'm going for it. It is what it is, just off the pure principle. But I don't care if I get nothing back from it. It's the principle about it.
Yeah.
And the first thing was my wife, where she was like, nah, babe, and this and that. Then I called you, and I realized that, and similar to you, like, you know, I don't fear nobody, but I do fear me triggering myself out of my own spot, whatever. So it's like, I've seen way too many stories, way too many situations where it's the dumbass situation, a dumbass outcome. We see news reports, whatever, and we know half the time, if not almost all the time, it's over some dumbass petty shit, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, and again, it could be something where I'm, defending myself, and then now I got to deal with a situation, whatever.
You went from the victim essentially to now becoming the abuser.
Right. And it's like
the accused, I guess.
Right. And all this over what? Something that ain't gonna be missed, something that ain't going to change my life, something. So I was like, all right, when I took my ego out of it, I'm like, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth the variables, the possibility that can even come from this, whatever.
Absolutely.
So fine. Like, I was out of alignment.
Yeah. I guess, like, you know what? I take a photo because nigga, we was in the same predicament, but I was like,
absolutely.
And I told you that weeks before. I didn't want to derail you and say, yo, just give up. You're like, no, I'm gonna give it the whole month, and I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm just preparing you, and I'm apologizing in advance. And I'm apologize in advance because I'm already seeing like this might end up being the case.
Yeah.
And you was like, no, I'm gonna still go through with it.
Yeah, because I was talking about that. I'm like, the whole thing was like, I knew there was no chance of getting anything if it was halfway through.
It makes sense.
And so that's why when it all fell through.
I can see that. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, when it fell through, I wasn't even mad. The thing that tipped the scale is when, like, the audacity of it. I was like.
But the same shit happened to me. And that was the part. I'm like, it wasn't even about not getting it. It was the diminishing of it. If it would have just been like, yo, you just ain't getting it. It'd be like, all right, I don't like how you do things, but the way you gonna try to tear the situation down?
Yeah. So now I got to tear shit down too.
Q is not the one that's gonna leave his pillar standing if you knock yours down. They gonna kick that motherfucker. But damn, it was something I was finna say before we went into that. Before we landed, I probably just. Oh no, I was gonna see a crash out. I didn't know what I was gonna say because I just want to give y'all a tip. So one of the things that I do to not crash out, right? And this is what I really do, right? Whenever I receive a message that kind of triggers me, because people think that when you're working on yourself that you don't have moments, right? So whenever I receive a message that triggered me, what I do is I look at the message, I read it. I read the message, whatever the case may be. So when you first read it, you trigger. So I'm start typing. I'm saying exactly what I feel and I think to respond to this message. And then what I do after that is I select all, I hit cut. I paste it into my notes. And then I allow for a couple hours to go by. Then I go back. It depends on where you at in your development. You can reread the message. But if it's going to trigger you again, don't reread that message. Okay. go just to your message and read what you were about to send 5 hours ago when you was pissed and triggered.
Oh, okay.
And see if you still want to send it. 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you either going to revise it or you're not going to send it, because you're going to realize that you wasn't responding, you were reacting. And you were reacting from a place of emotion based on how that message made you feel. But once you get to a response standpoint, you get to ask yourself, what do I want to say to what's being said, and what message do I want to deliver and convey in my words? And then that's when you revise it. Or you be like, I'm letting you kind of stay here by yourself. I'm not saying nothing. And I can not say nothing, not because I'm trying to be avoidant or out of fear. I'm literally making an educated decision to say, you know what? You going to stand on these words yourself.
Ain't worth my time.
I'm not even about to give you the time and energy. So if you listening and you watching this, literally, whenever you find yourself ready to crash out, and every time ain't going to be able to give you a couple hours. I'm more efficient with it now because I've done it for so long. So now I might just need 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I come back to it. But I have to table it, go do something completely way left to get my mind off of it, come back to it with a fresh perspective and read it from outside of my triggers to be able to say, okay, this is how I want to respond. I'm just not responding at all. And you will save so many relationships. Like, so many relationships will be saved just based on this one adjustment alone, by you just not reacting, but instead responding. And if y'all look at life that way, like, don't just react to life, respond with intentionality from an educated perspective, you'll realize that so many relationships could be saved, mended. You can preserve your energy. You can just, it makes you better internally, because the thing that once triggered you don't trigger you no more. Because if I used to get triggered by a particular approach, and now I've then looked at this approach 10 times and reflected on it, it's gonna bother me no more. It's like, oh,
I know this defense.
Yeah, look at you crashing out again by yourself. Like, so, you know, if you know you got a habit of just kind of like lashing out when somebody, you know, you feel disrespected or offended, give yourself that time and space and that capacity to process, then come back to it with a response and not a reaction.
Two things. One, I remember one of my female friends years ago told me that whenever she whenever she responds to long text messages, whether they triggered or not, she puts them in her notes first and this and that. That was the most insane shit I ever heard at the time. I'm like, that though. Right. I'm like, you put in your notes and type it out. She's like, yeah, I gotta look at this and that. I'm like, so I imagine she probably definitely doing on some intense and trigger conversation for sure. So that's interesting. Two.
Oh, tell me to break it down.
That boy good, man. Because one thing I give you, man, like, you know, of course, you know, you're a wise guy, you know, you're a smart guy, and, you know, I know, you know, I know I have my sense of intelligence and wisdom. I know other people like that. But one thing I will give you, and it's easy for me to give the credit and identify because I don't have it at all, is you are a teacher and a coach. Like, you know, because I give it to you because, like,
appreciate it.
Yeah, because I don't have the bandwidth capacity, or honestly, also the
interest,
yeah, to really craft information, break it down,
make it digestible
in a digestible way. Yeah, so the whole respond, react, take your time, 30 minutes. Maybe you may not make that level yet. So, you know, it may take hours versus 90 minutes. You know, you got different degrees for your classrooms. Like, you got first grade and fifth grade. Like,
right, you gotta catch people where they at. You gotta catch people where they at, man, and take them to where they need to be. But I think that's still going. I think that's kind of like, that's one of the things that I definitely want, you know, people to take with them, because like you said, your homegirl doing it, like, it gives you what you need to be able to, and it be the minor things, bro. Like, it be like, it's like you might think that you're not playing a part in what's happening because you're defending yourself, but defending yourself is still keeping it going. Because now you're playing tennis, because you're going to say something offensive, which is going to make that person defensive, and then there's a never-ending cycle. The way you stop it in totality is to just not engage. I have co-parents. I have two daughters who have to co-parent with their mothers. I had to realize, like, because a lot of me growing up felt like, oh, they're attacking me, right? And there's a lot of truth to that, right? It's just what it is. And I'm defending myself. But it wasn't until I made the decision to never interact or engage unnecessarily. Like, certain conversations can be difficult as co-parents. You gotta have, like, you ain't gonna always see things eye to eye. But some shit I'm just not even fucking responding to. And when it first, I remember just get like, you want to be so mature and take the house every time. Once I told myself I am not. It was 2018.
18.
I just was getting into my personal development journey. 2017. December 31st, I said I was leaving a lot of negativity in the past. I started reading, I want to say, in 2018 or 2019. I got heavy into it in 2019. But so it might have been 2019. It might have been 2018 was the development incubator. 2019 full fledged. I'm not engaging in this shit. So I don't argue with them. Like I don't argue with them at all. If they got some type of, I will end the conversation faster than fast. I don't have nothing. We don't have no reason to argue. It's nothing to argue about. We don't have to see things the same way, but we don't have to argue. And for me, once I started to develop other ways of strategy to offset the disrespect that I was enduring, because it's like, you coming at me today, like in my baby mom math, right? It's Monday. You called me at the register. Yo, I need $100 for these sneakers. Yo, no. Friday. Why? I didn't even prepare to spend $100 today. Oh, you never do nothing. I can never depend on you. I can never call you for nothing. I only ask you for $100. Sis, that was this week. All other times I answered, I did it, but it's not what you done. It was you done lately, and it triggers me, right? I'm pissed. So now I'm about to run you through a list of shit I did. I'm about to dig up receipts and facts and hit you with that. You know what? You know I did it. So why am I about to react to some shit you know is bullshit? You saying whatever to get a reaction out of me, and I used to give it to you. I'm not giving it to you no more. So now I look at the message. I just said I just paid this. I did this. I did that. Copy, select all, cut, paste in the notes, read the message, come back to it, read my message. Fuck, I'm about to sit here and explain all this for Friday. Nothing changes. I said Friday, like nothing, bro. I promise you. I said Friday, and that goes to what I said last episode about men not giving a fuck. Cause how you feel about me from Monday to Friday don't matter. On Friday when I send it, everybody's happy again. So I'm sticking to that. So you watching this, you listening. Again, these are things these is frameworks that I put into practice. Like once I told myself and made that decision, I'm not arguing with y'all no more. I don't have it. I'm cool. Like I don't want to argue with my girl. I'm not arguing with you. Like, what are we arguing about? I'm not about to be the problematic one. So don't worry about it. So if I know I'm not starting a problem, then I'm not defending or interacting with the problem.
Or instigating the problem.
Yeah, I'm not, inciting it or keeping it going. It's like you on your own. So it's